Earnestly podcast, recording this on Friday morning, March 6, 2026. Here once again with our guy, activist friend, of course, resident Dodgers, Lakers fan, Marc Francois with us. By the way, so the new intro, everybody loves the new intro.
Yeah,
except my wife and kids. My wife hates it. She fucking hates it. In fact, we did a podcast a couple weeks ago, or last week rather. She said, I'll do the show with you, but do not put that fucking intro on our podcast. So I obliged with this about it. It's like, keep the old one. I was like, I need something new. I've had the one that G made for me. I've had it for like 13, 14 years now. I want something new.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's going on, Mark? How you doing?
I'm well, man. It's weird being back so soon. It's like, what has something happened?
It's like the never ending story that continues to percolate. And for the record, we have a lot to talk about today. Obviously, the primaries just happened this past week. Midterms are not only 8 months away. We got the Iran crisis that's picking up steam. We have the Epstein update here. Yes, there's stuff to talk about, buddy. To say the least. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I guess you're right.
Yeah.
My wife, we got a couple things to cover.
So my wife's up in your neck of the woods. She's in New York for the weekend. She went to the Harry Potter play last night, and she's up there until Sunday. She said it was raining all like yesterday. Like rainy and cold.
Yeah. It wasn't like it poured last night. Like overnight, it poured.
Right.
But it wasn't too bad during the day because it was getting progressively warmer. The trick when you're in the city is just to stay out of the wind tunnels. So like 6th Avenue, not your friend.
Yeah. Right.
Like that. You will come off a street, turn that corner. Oh shit.
Meanwhile, I'm here doing daddy daycare here with the last couple of days. Which is fine. But obviously I miss her. But daddy daycare the last couple of days, and I've been, to be honest with you, I've been sleeping in the last 2 days. Like even today, I slept in to the kids at school. Nice. Came back home, passed out again.
So, I don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm taking some rest once I can, man. But it is what it is. So should we go to the primaries first? Let's go to primaries first.
Yeah, let's do that. So, not without its controversies, right?
Of course not. Of course. I mean, you said yourself. No, you made the controversial statement on the show last time that you believe that not only will the Democrats win the House, which I agree with you on the House part, but you also stated on this show that the Democrats will also win the Senate. And apparently, that's not how it takes. I realized because I talked to a couple friends of mine now recently. That's like, yeah, that's very possible.
Yeah, when you look at the overall approval, like something I just saw it this morning, something like 52 or 53% of people are like very strongly in the disapprove category. Like you've got a lot of people around the country, and since we last spoke, the sparking of this Iran war is only making things worse. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, if you're basically now, if you're taking AIPAC money, no one's voting for you, or very few people are voting for you. And if you continue to support this administration as a down ballot candidate, I think you've got problems.
Well, here's what I'll say. I will.
I mean, unless you say Mark Wayne Mullen.
You see that, by the way? Yeah. He's now. Did you?
Well, yeah. It's like, of course, they would nominate him for DHS secretary because there's no way they're going to lose that seat. But it's
So
not like they have a lot of choices, because if they pull anybody out of Congress in a red, basically almost every, I would say just the number of red districts that became purple in the last 4 weeks is way up.
So here's where I now have to apologize to you. I forgot that there's only a 6-seat majority in the Senate currently right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? 53-47.
Yeah, and then in November, there's something like 50. Is it 25 seats that go up for grabs, or
I think
50 seats that go up for? Is it
30.
50?
There's 35 right now going up in 26 this year. 35
Okay.
seats. The thing was
I don't know how
leaned.
it all breaks down election to
Right. The
election.
thing is, though, we discussed this on the show about, okay, look at the states that are in play this year, and could you see that state flip that seat to a Democrat? And there's definitely some opportunities here, but I still had a hard time seeing. You basically need what the numbers. I did the math wrong. They don't need 60 to flip. They need to flip only 3 seats, right, to go draw even. If they're down 6, you win 3 of those seats, that draws even, right?
No. They would have to win 6 to draw even if it's
It's still 6, right?
Yeah, they'd have to
That was
swing
that's
6 seats.
what I was saying originally. Yeah,
But if there's 13,
I have a hard time.
if there's 13 up for grabs,
Right. Okay.
Or you
So
said how many did you say was it total?
35.
35. There you go.
35.
I'd be curious to see what the full list is.
I'm looking right now. I gave you a list last week on the show last week of who are all here. I'm looking now right here. Why is this doing this? Who's up for grabs? Fall races are forecasted for saving the party. No, don't do that. So you have John Cornyn's seat up for grabs. Now he's going to run runoff in Texas. John Cornyn against
there'll be
Paxton.
a runoff with Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah, in their primary. No, in the primary, in the Republican primary. On the Republican side.
That's the one between Ken Paxton and John Cornyn. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find the seats here that are up for grabs here. But the thing is, I still have a hard. Okay, so like you have someone like Susan Collins, for example, who's a moderate, in Maine. Like can she lose a seat?
I think so. She's like 104 years old, and every time there's a critical moment to do something ethical and have her John McCain thumbs down moment, she shits the bed. So why I don't see why Maine voters would continue to support that. She can't be counted on.
All right, so you have here are the seats that this is according to 270 to win, that are believed to be possible toss-ups. Okay, in the Senate, you have Dan Sullivan in Arkansas. Okay. You have Ashley Moody in Florida, but she's going to win that, I think, though. She's running. She's actually currently in the seat for Marco Rubio's term right now.
I don't know though, because think about it this way: in a statewide in Florida, what swung a lot of the state were, call it, the Latinos for Trump. In that state, I think a lot of that is going to change as we've seen so much fervor around the immigration crisis of, say, people of Venezuelan, Colombian, and Cuban heritage who voted for Trump and then saw one of their loved ones deported. So I think I agree. I think that energy swings a statewide in Florida currently.
I will. Here's what I'll agree with you on that. It will be a lot closer margin. That I can give you. I just don't know if it'll flip it to blue, because again, as I told you for years, there's a weird fissure here where the Democrats just don't do well here in the state anymore. Just don't.
Yeah, I mean, like for much of our lives, I mean, into our 30s, it was a swing state, and it hasn't been for probably 15, 20 years.
And I can argue the only reason Obama won that state twice because he's special.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, excuse me, he's an outlier.
He's an outlier, yeah. So you have Ashley Moody in Florida. She's actually running for to keep the seat for Marco Rubio's final 2 years. John Ossoff in Georgia. He should win that. Is he popular in Georgia? Ossoff? He's pretty popular in Georgia.
I mean, he came close to winning it before. He then did win it in his second try. and
Right.
or I think didn't
No, he's
didn't
he's current. He's current. He's
yeah,
current.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's the sitting senator from Georgia.
Right.
So and I think there's a decent chance, yeah. I mean, it depends on what happens as far as like election fuckery with this administration and what they're trying to
Right.
do with the state taking over the bluest county and all of that in Fulton.
So
But
let's run through the states real quick. So you have Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, Maine, Michigan. Michigan's obviously blue already. Let's focus on the red states actually. Currently, Arkansas, Florida, Iowa, Maine, Montana, North Carolina, New is that and that's Nebraska. Nebraska,
yeah,
uh,
any is Nebraska.
Ohio, and Texas. How many of those states do you see the Democrats turning blue?
Okay, so Texas right there is an easy one with Tallarico against either Cornyn
You really believe
or
that Texas is ready for go blue now? You think we do this shit every fucking 2-3 years, man? And every time he's like, okay, but it doesn't happen. But you think this time?
I just think it's something about his appeal to me is like because Beto was a little too combative and scary to the old blue hair ladies in Texas and a lot of the middle-aged white people. He said the F word and made the trad wives clutch their pearls.
But they vote for Trump
But
though, who does the same goddamn thing too. Also, good job. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
make it make sense. Like seriously, make it make
Yeah,
sense.
exactly. No shortage of hypocrisy.
Yeah.
But no, but I think Tallarico has like a very genteel way of speaking. He talks like a pastor. I think, he hits all the marks that you need to in identity politics in a state
Mm-hmm.
like Texas. And I think particularly with what people have seen happen now to women's rights, their neighbors disappearing, just how badly Texas is feeling certain affordability issues. No, I think there's a pretty good chance. I think people are really fed up with the shit. And I think the inability, I think the combination of affordability, Iran, and Epstein is going to swing a lot of votes the other way because basically it's going to be like, do you want the Epstein files exposed in full, irrespective of who it incriminates? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
That's one box to check. Do you
Right.
take APAC money? Yes or no? That's another box to check. It's like those two things. And then are you saying meaningful things about affordability? Basically, are you talking about affordability the way people like Mamdani are? Those are the three things that I think most voters are most concerned with.
And by the way, gas high again. Not because of the Iran
Yeah,
conflict, but yeah, gas high again.
yeah.
For the record. And
Was
Trump
it
said, "What are they going to do about it?"
362 gallon national average?
I don't know. I saw 329 in my area, but that's still a jump from where we were a
No,
couple
no, no,
days
no.
ago.
I know, but Florida is low end of the spectrum. But I think the national average is like 362.
Yeah.
Because that
Again,
means in California it's probably up around $6 a
and
gallon.
Trump's response to that is that it's gonna happen unfortunately because okay, but again you said that's supposed to be low. This is one of your promises. So now you're saying it's not going to be low anymore.
Yeah,
You said no. You said no wars.
exactly.
You said no new wars, and now we're doing that
Well,
now.
and the thing is, to my understanding too, even having seized the means of production for Venezuela's oil,
Yeah.
it's my understanding that we can't necessarily extract or utilize it because the pipelines necessary to get it here are haven't been serviced in years.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, it's been a minute since I read that, but it was an article that I'd seen right around the time of when they kidnapped Maduro.
Politically speaking, all this stuff that's going on here helps Democrats. Big picture, politically speaking.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
not. But I'm not trying to
Like
think
one
politically.
one race I'm watching is Cori Bush trying to get her seat back.
Yeah, she got
You
ousted.
know,
Remember 2 years ago, because of the whole
by
APAC.
she got primaried by an opponent who was funded by APAC to the tune of like what was it, millions in
25
their
million, I think it was.
primary in a
Some
tiny
shit. A
district like
lot of
St.
fucking
Louis.
money. Yes.
And then the same thing happened to Jamal Bowman in New York.
Right. Yeah. What state? Well, those are House seats, though, right?
Yeah,
Those
those
are
were
House seats.
House
Yeah.
seats. But no,
Okay.
that's just one I'm curious because, like I said, the APAC checkbox, Cori Bush may be able to get her seat back now.
If I had okay, so if I look at the states right now that are in play for Democrats, that has
Going back
a chance to win. So according to Kalshi, Arkansas is in play. According to
Interesting.
Kalshi,
I could see that.
apparently
I don't know
Dan
enough about a lot of these individual states
True.
unless
So
they're ones I've been to, and so that's exclusively what I'm going off of is vibes of people I met when I've traveled to these states, and I've been to a lot of them.
So according to Kalshi, Dan Sullivan only has a 56% chance of holding his seat in Arkansas as a Republican. That's weird because Arkansas is a very red state.
No,
and
but
yet,
think about it. But think about it this way: even your most like fervent okay, so like we said before, you're always gonna have 25 to 35% of the base of like even within the red base that is just always gonna follow Trump, no matter what he says, no matter what he does, no matter like how much of a bowl of melted ice cream he becomes. Like they just don't care. They're in. They're cult all the way. The rest, I think the whole, they've been calling Democrats pedophiles and talking about all the Democrats in the Epstein list and the Epstein files for fucking a decade now or close to it. So that is a major core issue for them, and many of them have eyes and can see that like really horrible things are in there, and whether or not they choose to believe Donald Trump is at the center of it, what they do see is people covering it up. And it's like, wait a minute, why are you covering this up? Why are people not going to jail? Why are the Brits doing this and we're not?
Right.
Anybody with eyes can see that. And I think crimes against children, thank God, is at least a deal breaker for most Americans. It's like,
it is.
What will it take to make you break with this fucking antichrist of a man? And yet, I guess, okay, child trafficking. Thank God. At least there's that.
No, I'm with you. But as you know, through these last 10 years of Trump, I've become more skeptical about these things. Like you're confident about Texas, and I get that. And there's been this draw for the last decade about Texas can go blue and it's purple, and then every time a chance to win it, it doesn't happen.
What's that called? Like the Overton window or something? It's like okay, yeah. So I think that there's an opportunity for a material shift blue, and what my thinking there is this. To me, it's like Texas and Florida become purple again because Arkansas and Iowa are on the board. You know what I mean? It's like it's states that are so many standard deviations away from the mean into their red side of the spectrum. If those kinds of places are in play, well, of course, Texas and Florida are in play because they're just larger, more diverse states. So you're going to naturally get a more stirred up seasoned pot than you will in place that are much more homogenous. And if homogenous places are moving, well, then of course the other.
And I will say, from what I've seen in my purview the last 6 months a year, we discussed this a lot on the show through the years about how like the Republican conservative ecosystem, the media bubble is way more effective than the left wing.
Yeah.
And I still believe that to be true. However,
they do a better job of getting their people hooked and keeping them on the line.
But I will say this, and maybe it's just me, and maybe it could be my algorithm to some degree. But I've noticed the left's bubble has started to really get better in the last year. There's a lot of influencers now who are getting a lot of gains recently, but what they're doing though, they're going scorched earth with it. There's some influencers out there who are very popular who are going scorched earth now. With fuck
it's
you guys.
Even the libs are going scorched earth. It's not just the left.
They're not playing around anymore. They're not even pussyfooting about when we go high, when they go low, we go high. No, they're
going Cardi B.
You're right. One influencer I started following recently. I think you follow him too because I've seen him click on this couple of things in the past. The dude Matt, the comedian Matt from the town, black dude, buff Army veteran.
Oh yeah.
Fucking love that guy. Fucking love that guy. He pulls no frills. He'll sit there and he'll stitch videos from other right wingers, and he goes full throat. He doesn't give a fuck. Does not care. And I think that's where the left's at now.
Yeah, and I think some of the other big things that we haven't talked about that are like the less obvious ones, right along with affordability and housing is the jobs crisis. Unemployment is the worst it's been since the pandemic, and I believe even worse now than 2009.
Really?
I'm not positive, but it's heading that way.
I don't know, but I don't know. 2009. That's a big jump because 2009 was pretty bad. But I'll check real quick.
No, but for the first time since then, there are more job seekers than jobs available.
I'm checking right now.
It might not be, but also unemployment numbers are skewed because the thing they don't necessarily talk about is disenfranchised workers, which is the number of people who've completely given up looking for work. And I haven't looked at it in a second, but I'm pretty sure that number is quite a bit higher than it's been.
So as of December, it was at 4.3%. Now
4.3.
That can flip. But that's 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago. That can be different now. I got to see this real quick. It doesn't show me else here. Unemployment numbers. Nope, not that one. You see unemployment. Yeah,
I'm looking up the number right now.
No, I'm sorry. I apologize. That's Florida. I apologize. That's not the United States. That's Florida.
Yeah, I'm looking up the U.S. disenfranchised workers number.
Right. And if it hits problem too with these numbers as well is that
go
ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the most up-to-date numbers on disenfranchised workers is April of 2024.
The fuck? That's Biden.
Yeah. What do you know? The Trump administration hasn't collected or reported on.
Well, that's something to get to. Like these numbers, they're gonna fudge numbers now because that's what they do. And again, Trump is saying, "Oh, these numbers are great." No, they tell you they're great because again, I want to trust Trump. I don't because his past has maybe not trusted.
Well, I would say let's rephrase that. You don't want to trust Trump. You want to be able to trust the office of the president and the agencies that fall under the executive branch. We don't want to trust Trump.
Oh, here's an update from 3 hours ago. U.S. economy. Here's an update from Reuters 3 hours ago. U.S. economy unexpectedly loses jobs in February. Unemployment rate rises to 1.4%. So it's going up.
Yep.
U.S. lost 92,000 jobs last month. Unemployment rate is 1.4%. Yep. And if this shit with Iran picks up anymore, we add in also the gas prices and of course, groceries still high.
I don't know, and we obviously don't know at what rate because I didn't see. I'll have to do more research for the next time I come back on here before November. But I want to see what the what universities and journalists are reporting in their stat collection because. For example, the fact that there's no report on disenfranchised workers is really important. And if there were 4 million as of 2024, we know that number is obviously higher than it was.
Mm-hmm.
But how much higher? God only knows.
Well, like I said, these numbers are going to help Democrats, politically speaking. We'll see. We'll see if that maintains into November because again, we're in March, and the news cycle now in these days move a lot faster than they have in the past. So
and that's that's the point, according to Steve Bannon.
Yeah, you keep flooding the zone. But at some point, though, we can read numbers. Gas prices are high.
Mm-hmm.
We can read numbers. We're not an idiot.
Yeah.
Even if you fake the fucking numbers, we can read. We can read a grocery
Exactly.
price
Anybody
tag.
looking for a job knows it's like you're going to be applying for hundreds of positions before you get even an interview, because there's no regulation about, say, employers just using it to farm data that they sell and to keep a bench of employees in order to intimidate the workers they have. What they do is they just think of it like a hopper on a paintball gun.
Mm-hmm.
Except the paintballs are people.
Right.
And they just burn through the ones they have until the ones they have quit. And then they drop somebody new into the position that they've had in their bench for a while and profited off their data, because they get everything from you when you apply for a job, down to your fucking blood type. No, maybe not literally your blood type, but yeah, anyway. Sorry, I'm getting onto a soapbox tangent. Forgive me. But between Epstein, affordability, housing, jobs, all of these things, it seems clear that everything you guys were peddling was the opposite of what you said. And like, there's so much light being shone. It's like each thing wrong is kind of its own little fire, and it's just shining so bright and so hot right now that there's there's no covering it up anymore.
No, and I think the difference not too also between where we're at now, where we're at, say 2018, is that Trump can't say after the midterms, depending what numbers land after the midterms, Trump can't save anymore. He can't run again.
No.
The
whole point of this too is he's trying to use the war as an excuse to suspend elections because he knows he's fucked in 2026, or in November.
Yeah, and that's bullshit. They can do that.
Yeah, I mean,
why can't we shoot them walk at the same time? I can still vote while the war's going on.
Yeah. Did Roosevelt not get reelected in 44?
Yeah. What the fuck? Why is that? Seriously, it's bullshit. And it bothers me that people can't see this stuff. It bothers me, But again, we discussed too also recently that you'll start seeing little by little as the results come into the midterms, and if things are really bad, let's say they go fucking full throat, and your prediction ends up being true that the House and the Senate. You watch literally within those first few months after the elections, Republicans start to jump ship.
Oh no, people are going to
save their careers.
If I would say that if it swings to Democrats and enough of the right kind of Democrats occupy new seats, because that doesn't even speak for, say, 900-year-old Democrats, the Dianne Feinsteins of the world. Obviously, she's no longer alive and occupying a seat in the Senate. But those type of Democrats, there's no saying how many of those seats are going to turn over to other more progressive Democrats who are more willing to take action and not be
in 28, especially in 28.
Yeah, I feel like people like Chuck Schumer, great example. So there's that AIPAC box.
yeah, no doubt.
But no, I think the combination of all of these things, again, it's like the tide is just too big. There's too much shit that has built up. Either like the dam is gonna break or somebody's gonna turn down the pressure.
Yeah, this is why I'm very curious how these next couple months go. I mean, you already seen some Republicans jump ship.
We talked about this years ago. I mean, going back to like 2017, 2018, when we talked about different crossroads where America fell or almost fell into like abject fascism. And one of those was, immediately following World War I. So there's, we are obviously much further down the rabbit hole than we've ever been. But I do think the spotlight is too bright. There's too many people feeling the burn. Like the wealth gap is too intense. The affordability gap is too intense.
Right.
They're fucked. And if enough of those Democrats occupy the House and Senate, come January of 27, I think all of these people are going to jail.
You think that's going to go that far?
I do. At least I hope so.
I have no faith in Democrats.
Maybe I'm manifesting a little bit, but I think
have
a lot
no
of
faith in
people
Democrats doing things like that, like because they had a chance to do it in 2021, and it didn't happen. So
yeah, but it's a lot worse. It's like objectively a lot worse.
Yeah, and maybe the pandemic also was a bigger distraction. That's not the priority. Just get people back to work, and
Yeah,
I guess you're right.
I think there's that too, because there's like nothing. It's just the corporate technocracy, like the combination of Meta, Elon Musk's realm of companies, Palantir, and the others trying to take over the country. I think as younger politicians enter the fray, and you actually have people that understand what the hell is happening, and what's the average age in Congress right now? Like 74.
It's disgusting. I'm not an ageist. I'm not an ageist, but damn.
No, but that's ridiculous. You have a bunch of people not regulating the tech industry because they don't even know how to use their fucking phones. Like they have people typing their emails for the last 30 years because they didn't have computers before and they don't want to learn how to use them.
Yep. According to Kalshi,
and that's how fucking long they've been in elected office.
Check this out. According to Kalshi, which party will win the presidential election in 2028? 56% says Democrats, 45% Republicans.
Okay, look up the Senate odds. Look up the overall odds for the Senate and House. Like,
that's a good question.
Who wins? Kind of call it the coin flip of each.
I'm checking right now. I'm gonna look at the.
Let's see what Kalshi thinks about my prediction.
According to Kalshi, how long ago was the DH is funded? Let me see. I'm trying to find the Texas nominee that Cornyn. Trying to find. Here's another good one. Democrat nominee for president. Gavin Newsom, 26%. AOC, 9%. I don't see anything here.
I think that's more just because it has like there's not enough data to make a reasonable prediction about that.
Right.
Nobody's really entered a race or tried to do anything about getting attention to be president, other than quietly raising their profile and deflecting when asked the question.
I don't see. So here's another one. Texas Senate winner, Republican Party or James Tallarico? 67% says the GOP. There's no, obviously it's a faceless name on GOP because no
okay, I'm just gonna ask Google the generic question: who do odds makers predict will win the Senate?
I'm trying to find that one. What does it say to you?
Now that they do all their fucking like AI responses.
This is interesting. This Kalshi is interesting. It's not telling me anything about that. Okay, which party won the House? That's easy. 18% says Democratic Party, 18% to Republicans. So Democrats will have a piece of the pie come January next year. It doesn't say anything about Senate yet, though. Oh, here we go. Which party will win the U.S. Senate? 57% says Republicans, 44% says Democrats.
Okay.
Well, remember, they're the favorites going in, though. So it's not.
And that means it's pretty close because what's margin of error on something? Because that's not polling. That's like odd, like handicapping, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
According to how many people voted this thing? $2 million in volume. What am I calling? Oh no, I'm not a big Kalshi guy, man. This is interesting though.
Well, yeah, because it's betting.
But it gives you also this kind of. But the reason why I will always use these things as a kind of an elixir is because it gives you an idea
licking your finger and sticking it in the air to what's going on to like get a temperature.
Yeah, exactly. What's the
What's the
temperature of the country right
pulse?
now? So it gives you something. It's not everything, but it's something.
Yeah,
It's polling.
it's not the indicator, but an indicator.
It's indicator, and it gives you a little bit of just a pulse in the air. Okay, what's what people saying? Doesn't mean it's gonna be
Yeah,
is or isn't. It's just okay, interesting. Can we talk about Tallarico and Crockett?
yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
so a lot of folks are pissed off that Crockett didn't get her fair share. Apparently, she was leading the polls heavy last year, and then there was a thing that happened with the what was it what was the talk show? Fucking what was it the late night show? Not Jimmy Fallon.
It was late night with Stephen
Stephen
Colbert,
Colbert.
where
Like what
the
explain
FCC.
that, please.
Okay, so a couple things happened. The way I understand it, let's put it that way. The way
Mhm.
I understand it is that pressure came probably from like Barry Weiss's office, or that there may be FCC retaliation from known dickweed Brendan Carr if um they aired the interview with Tallarico because of what's called the equal time rule under FCC regulations, which says during a political campaign, if you must give equal time to both or all candidates. I'm not sure if it's both or all, but
Right.
both or all candidates in a race. So if you have a segment interview or a 2-segment interview with James Tallarico, you must also have a 2-segment interview with Jasmine Crockett.
Correct.
Anyway, that was apparently not the case. They hadn't interviewed Jasmine Crockett, didn't have her scheduled. And so there was some FCC pressure to not air the interview. What they did was just throw it up on YouTube instead and kind of use the whole thing as a redirect to their YouTube to get people to watch it. And it blew the fuck up and got millions of views. So it probably did better than the interview would have done had it just aired on TV and then and then been available on YouTube and social media. Like
Mhm.
it would have done its normal view count, but it certainly wouldn't have gone viral like it did. So some of it feels sincere, some of it feels like Colbert's smart and used the moment to get a lot of attention for his show and the fact that he's getting screwed over by his network.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's out in May, so.
what's true? Probably a little bit of all of it.
Mhm.
But I think what's also really interesting is what actually ended up happening in the primary, particularly in Dallas County. Did you follow some of that?
I've heard things, but again, tell me.
Okay, so what happened was historically in Texas, the way I understand their primary rules or election rules, state local rules, was that you could go to any polling place within your district to vote.
Mhm.
You didn't have a specifically assigned polling place. Like you had a homeroom, but you didn't have to go to it to vote.
In a
Like
primary.
there was one that was your local place, but you
In
didn't
in
have to
in the
go
primary
there.
only though, right? Only in the primary, right?
I believe it's only in the primary.
Right.
Um, they changed that rule for this election. They did not make that rule change widely known. Surprise, surprise, because when less people vote, Republicans do better.
Yep.
Um, so they changed that rule. People were scrambling all day long to get to their polling place. And so the Texas Election Commission extended the voting window 2 hours from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Right.
And then Ken Paxton, who is both the current Texas Attorney General and a candidate for Senate on the Republican side, so a candidate in the race as the sitting Attorney General, filed an injunction blocking the votes so that all votes cast after 7 p.m. don't count.
Right.
On top of that, Jasmine Crockett was alleging that black and brown Democratic voters, overwhelmingly black and brown throughout Dallas County, would then show up to their local precinct And people were telling them that if they were not registered Republican, they were not permitted to participate in the primary of that district whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So it was twofold. It was Democratic voters, overwhelmingly black and brown, being blocked from voting because they were not registered Republicans, and then a significant swath of votes, all votes collected between 7 and 9 p.m., have been temporarily disqualified. Now, I believe since all of that, Jasmine Crockett has still conceded the race.
Right.
But she has also filed suits, I believe, or is in the process of filing suits claiming election fuckery. I didn't get a chance to watch a ton of news yet this morning, so
I've been
I'm
in and out.
I'm not fully caught up on that one.
To be honest with you, I watched Breaking Points last night for the first time in months, and even Sagar, who's a Republican, is like he's out.
Which one's Breaking Points?
That's the one. That's the one with Crystal and Sagar. They were on the. That's their own show.
Got it. I didn't realize that was the name of the show.
Sagar's a conservative, but he was never a Trump guy. He's a conservative, and he is done with Trump. He's out.
He's more like that guy on that guy who's I always forget his name. He has a famous name, like he shares his name with another famous person, and he is the former head of the RNC, and he co-hosts Joy Reid's time.
Is Michael Steele?
Michael Steele. Yeah, the former
black
head
guy,
of
right?
The
Black guy.
Yeah, is Sagar sort of a like Michael Steele type, or like sort of the other guy from the Bulwark who wears the pearl necklace?
Yeah, Tim Miller, my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, former Jeb Bush.
Sagar sort of falls into the same bucket.
Sort of, yeah. He's probably a little more conservative than those guys, but he's also very principled. So and he's been very critical of like because they ran a whole. Damn, that's what I said them today. They ran a whole like a thing of like campaign promises that Trump and people in that cabinet said they'll do about Iran and everything else.
Yeah,
and everything. But he's like this is bullshit.
He's sort of like how they represented Republicans through John Goodman in The West Wing.
Yeah, I guess you can look that way. Yeah, yeah, look that way. Yeah, but
I can't think of his last name to call him by like President Blank. You know, I can't think of his. I know his first name was Glenn, but I can't think of the last name.
I gotta finish that fucking show, bro. I told the wife the other day we gotta finish the show. We gotta stay on the gas.
So quick sidebar.
Season three still.
You guys are still in. Okay. So you're still like in the meat of like when it's really, really good.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck, we got to do this fucking show, bro.
Seasons 3 and 4 are far and away the two best.
Is it really?
Yeah. Because if I'm not mistaken, that is the MS reveal and the re-election, correct?
MS reveals, I think, in season 2. I thought.
Yeah, but
he's already told the world.
Season 3 is the election, then.
Season 3 is the re-election campaign. Season 2 is the lead up to that.
Season 4 is the begin. Season 4 is the handoff to John Wells, right? Where Sam is only in it for like the first 10. He's only appears in like the first 10 episodes, and only the first 2 episodes, I believe, are written by Sorkin.
Right, Sorkin.
Is that what it is?
Right. I got that far, so I can tell you.
Or maybe it was Sorkin wrote. No. Sorkin wrote the first 4 seasons, and then the season 15. Premiere of 5 was his departure.
Yeah, so like I'm basically where
that was the last episode he wrote was the 5.
The MS thing's already out. He just announced he's re-election, and we're on the way to re-election. So,
he did. It was when Mrs. Landingham dies, and he sticks his hands in his pockets, and they do the whole flashback thing to him in him in prep school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love. Okay, that is one of my favorite. Okay. 2 Cathedrals is widely regarded as probably the best episode of The West Wing in the entire run by a lot of the, panel moderators who get the cast together at cons. So that episode though is so fucking cool when they do the whole flashback, and I absolutely love the actress they get to play young Mrs. Landingham because she
Oh,
perfectly captures the essence of like the old Mrs. Landingham. Like
mhm.
you can absolutely see exactly from whence she came. Like it's
Yeah.
so rad to me.
Well,
And then the whole thing with like I know. Oh yeah, go on.
Lauren and I love Miss Lanningham because we know her from Scrubs. She did a guest appearance on Scrubs from season 1.
Okay,
And,
okay,
and her and I, that's our favorite show of all time. Her and I favorite show. So
interesting.
every time we
Yeah,
see her,
because
it's like, hey, it's
I
Rosanna.
believe she retired, like she made a conscious choice to retire from acting, which is why they had to write her so definitively out of the show.
Yeah, she passed away, I
Um,
think, recently too. Also,
yeah, I want to say in the last like 4 or 5 years, right?
Mrs. Landingham. Let me see her. Let me see.
And I'm pretty sure she was like a fairly decorated actress, like throughout her
Yeah, from what I'm
career.
seeing
Like
here, yeah.
she had a long and her filmography is quite extensive.
hmm Yeah, she died. She
Just
died.
blink.
She died actually 14 years ago.
Oh wow.
Dude, she died. Hold on. Wait, no. That's in the movie. That's in the show. No, in the show
Oh
she died. In the show she died
yeah, she was killed
in
by
a.
yeah, she was
No,
driving her
no.
brand new car and was killed by a drunk driver.
Right. In the show she died. I'm looking.
Mhm.
I'm trying to find the how she died in real life. Let me see.
Probably on her
Catherine.
IMDb.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Catherine Houston. There we go. She
And
died
then
in
going
she
from her
died
to Lily
2012.
Tom okay, and then going from her to Lily Tomlin is just such a baller move. Like Lily
Mm,
Tomlin bodies that.
yeah, she died. Well, she smoked for a long time. No. That's a character. No. She had lung cancer.
Mm,
Chemo. She had cancer.
there you
Yeah,
go.
she died of cancer. Lung cancer.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
and then obviously John Spencer died when they were filming the show.
Yeah, season 7.
Um,
My probably my favorite
uh,
character. Probably my
yeah.
favorite character the whole show.
Oh, Leo's the best.
Yeah,
Leo's the absolute best.
yeah. He's the reason I watch still. Well,
I mean,
and
he literally. I mean, it's wild that his character dies of a heart attack because really he's the beating heart of the team.
he really is. He really is. Nice sidebar. Do you think well back to Tallarico and Crockett?
Yeah. Sorry, as we took
No,
our
it's
little
okay.
fantasy
It's
deep
okay.
dive into politics with a soul.
do you who do you think's responsible for Tallarico winning? And like, there's a lot of like wording about racism and there's like a little coded shit going on about Crockett's not
Yeah, I
sophisticated
mean,
enough.
look, I would say it's not a stretch to guess that voter suppression is probably at an all-time high in a place like Texas. And they with, I'm not an expert. I have no inside information or sources on the ground to, corroborate my my gut instinct. But,
Mm,
we have seen a steady wave of voter suppression measures taken by Republicans predominantly since going back to like 2009. They saw a black president get inaugurated. They're like, fuck, we are in so much trouble.
mm-hmm.
And they have been just moving that along, inching that along for now what's become nearly 20 years. So I would say voter suppression in a place like Texas is very likely as bad or worse than it's been since the civil rights movement. So it's not a stretch for me to say that there are probably a lot of disenfranchised voters who would have otherwise voted left.
Right.
And in the case, because as we know, what disenfranchised voters on the left usually means is victims of efforts to keep black and brown people from voting. So I imagine that if a disproportionate number of black and brown people were kept out of the election, Jasmine was swimming with an ankle weight because there are probably a lot of voters in Texas that would have gone her way because James Tallarico probably captured a lot more of those like white people in the middle, well-meaning Trump voters. Just, again, experience bias only talking. I'm going to guess that he gobbled up a lot more of the switching Republicans than she did. And she probably would have benefited a lot more from voter turnout efforts on the left, increasing turnout among pissed off poor people. And a lot of those pissed off poor people are black and brown. So they were specifically targeted for voter suppression.
And that's called what it is. A lot of folks may think that, oh, she's cool, but she may be a little too ghetto, if you will, which is bullshit, but okay.
Yeah, I think, well, and, there's a lot of, it seems as though there's been a lot of unfair, I don't know if it's because of money flying around or what, but it just seems like there was this uptick. And granted, it is an election, mud is going to be flung,
Of course.
but there seemed a lot of bullshit and like bad form narratives or characterizations of Jasmine Crockett, her work, her positions, her personality, whatever.
Right.
Some of it just, typical shit that happens to black women that doesn't tend to happen to other people with less melanin or men.
I will say this though, to be fair, it is good to see that regardless of what may have happened, that the nipping in the bud, the look at the bigger picture. They're not going to drag us out. She already conceded. She's going to support Hillary Clinton to win the Senate. And look, I'm not saying that there's any there in terms of what happened in that primary, but I think the eye on the prize is bigger, and I think Jennifer Crockett will be better for it anyway down the road. My buddy said actually in the Texas, he goes like, she got big things coming up. He thinks that she may be a VP candidate in 2028.
I think that's reasonable. I hope so. And if not, I think in 2028, Ted Cruz's seat could easily be hers. I think that's some, especially if you have a midterm, you have a blue wave take hold in Washington, and a lot of dare I say it, impeachment, or there is corrective legislation that even the president can't, that somehow overcomes the veto power. God forbid. I'm thinking big here. I'm trying to manifest positivity as best I can.
Yeah, I'm not there
Words
anymore.
Words have power.
That was me years ago, not me
words
anymore.
have power. I'm not speaking legislative destruction into existence. I'm trying not to sound like I'm completely high on my own supply, but I'm trying to remain some form of optimistic.
Mm-hmm. No,
but no,
yeah,
I think it's reasonably possible that legislation comes down between 26 and 28 that benefits Democrats going into 28 more, and that Texas could remain in play for, like I said, Ted Cruz's seat.
How much can the
Iran?
That's
up in 28.
Right. How much can the Iran? It is 28 for record. How much can the Iran conflict really hurt Trump and Republicans in the next forget the next 6 months, the next 2.5 years?
Oh, I think it's going to be. I really do see this combination of Epstein, Iran, affordability, jobs, housing. That like big spoke makes up this just wheel of destruction that's going to mow through a lot of our political discourse, and it's going to take out a lot of the old guard. And one of two things is going to happen. We're going to fall into a corporate technocracy, and Skynet is coming, and we're going to all be ruled by Terminators. Mm-hmm. Or, we'll get our second wave of FDR and a new deal. I don't know. But it seems like reasonably there's only two outcomes, because those are the two forces kind of at odds with each other. So
right.
who?
No, I'm with you. No, I'm with you. The Iran thing's interesting because, like, on one hand, like, am I glad Ayatollah's gone? Yeah, I am. Obviously, the human rights practices were fucking disgusting. However, you ran on this shit. No new wars. America first.
Well, and this, at the end of the day, reasonable diplomacy with Iran was beginning to happen following the Obama administration. Things got markedly worse between the United States, its allies, and Iran beginning in 2017 when who took office? And then they were sort of beginning to cool down again in 2021 when who took office? And then guess what? BB's buddy wins re-election. And like, you know, we were talking about this, call it in the green room before the light went on. And look, BB has been begging us to bomb Iran since you and I, like you were in high school and I was in middle school.
Yep.
And we are in our
It's on
40s
record.
now.
It's on
Like,
record. It's on record.
yeah. I mean, the joke I made offline was that like Yitzhak Rabin's body was not cold in the ground before Benjamin Netanyahu was tap dancing before Congress begging us to bomb Iran. It like this isn't new. This has been his mission his entire adult life.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a fissure too, also even within GOP themselves, that they are not for this, you know, for this military action, and we are ready. The country as a whole is already warned on war.
Well,
Afghanistan,
and
20
you know,
years.
okay, you know me, I'm super, you know, I still say that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Candace Owens are grifters.
What question?
That video you sent me of Marjorie Taylor Greene losing her shit on Megyn Kelly's show. That or you know, like even Nick Fuentes and Ben Shapiro turning on the administration and calling shit out. That to me is
What, Shapiro too?
Huh? I thought Shapiro did. I could
I
have
don't know.
sworn Shapiro said. I think over the Iran shit.
I thought Shapiro would be
wanna
okay
say
with it. Basically, helps Israel. Okay, I'm surprised.
No, but no, I thought okay, maybe I had it backwards. Maybe Shapiro didn't jump in, but I thought he did. But definitely Fuentes, Candace Owens, now you know Marjorie Taylor Greene, like you know Joe Rogan, you know all the white boy comics that platformed this shit. I'm not giving them any grace for finally pulling their heads out of their asses, but I mean they are people who red hats listen to. And a lot of the people that red hats listen to are going, "This is fucked, you guys." Like,
he's just
like
no.
Fox isn't doing it, but red hats under 50 don't watch Fox.
Well, there you go. As of March 2026, Ben Shapiro has been a vocal supporter of the U.S. military strikes against Iran. Rather, he has defended the action.
He has been a vocal supporter of the strategy against Iran.
U.S. strikes because he's a supporter of it.
Okay,
he has
never mind.
He has defended the actions as a necessary assertion of American power and a strategic move to dismantle the Iranian nuclear threat.
It was fuck him before it'll be fuck you tomorrow, and it's fuck you today. Then Ben Shapiro,
Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson both are against it.
Oh, okay. No, for some reason I thought I said. Everybody gets caught in the zone flooding, I think, you know.
So
those of us with discernment.
The pro strike camp, Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin definitely support it. The anti-strike camp is anti-strike camp is Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly.
That's why did I confuse Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson? Yes, it was Tucker Carlson
because they're both fucking idiots. That's why.
Yeah, and didn't he get like detained in Iran when he went to go
no clue.
interview Mike Huckabee? Tucker
no
Carlson.
Clue. No idea.
Yeah, Tucker. Yeah, look it up. Tucker Carlson went to go interview Mike Huckabee in Tel Aviv and got detained.
In where? In Iran?
In Tel Aviv, in Israel.
Oh.
For being critical of the Israeli government.
Let's see.
I mean, obviously that wasn't the stated reason of the detention.
He claimed, so in mid-February last month, Carlson claimed he was detained by Israeli authorities at Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv, though this account is heavily disputed by both Israeli and U.S. officials. The incident occurred after Carlson conducted an interview with Michael Huckabee.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but you know what? I believe Tucker Carlson in that one. I'm still feeling like I feel a flutter in my chest. Those words having just crossed my lips.
He's been consistent about this. He's been consistent about this for a couple of years now. He's been consistent on this whole Israel thing for a couple of years.
Yeah,
him and Candace Owens both.
So, to
me, it's complicated, but at the same time,
okay.
Go ahead.
Did you see the merch? Did you see the posts about like the merch on his website lately?
Who, Carlson?
Yes.
No.
He has some unintentionally funny and like low-key dope merch that he thinks is like dunking on the left, and it's really really cool. And so like the vibe of the tweets going around is, I can't in good conscience give money to Tucker Carlson, but yo, I want that hat. Like, because one of them is like a shot at Mamdani, and it's NYC, except that the C is the hammer and sickle.
The communist, right? Yeah. I knew
Yeah,
you said
and
that.
it's like, that's kind of fucking dope.
Yeah. No, I think the Iran thing could be the thing that just the camel's back.
And then he has something that says like rhinos are gay for Israel or something like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, I can't remember all of them, but I've seen several like leftist creators. I can't remember if it was DJ Soulchild or one of those, or like one of the other random women that I follow that kind of take on the shit in that vein.
Yeah.
And there's like there's a conversation happening about how unintentionally dope and funny Tucker's new merch is.
Yeah. You mentioned Epstein. What's new? Anything new on that front?
I don't. Okay, so obviously the big story that I've seen the most is the one about the missing 50 pages of notes pertaining to a girl who accused the president of repeatedly assaulting her over several years, from the time she was like 12 to 14. It had been reported to the FBI. Interviews had been done. Redacted reports that had come out were basically like, as simplest way to put it would be like the cover page, but all of the 450 pages of notes from agents interviewing this accuser were not included in previous file drops. And so that was one of the big ones that say like House Oversight Democrats are going, where the fuck are these 50 pages? And I believe those are among the stuff supposedly that just got dropped in the last like day or two by the Justice Department. But we shall see. I haven't seen like any particular bombshells of like any new viral horrors emerging from the files, specifically in like the last 24 36 hours. But basically, I'm sure there will be a plethora of revelations that will haunt your dreams.
How much of the files are still left to be put out?
I think like, okay, so it was something like 3.5 million pieces of information or files had been released. There was another like 3 million that were not released, but even among the 3.5 million that were released, they are not legally compliant with the act passed by the Epstein Released the Files Act, whatever. That passed both houses of Congress, or both chambers of Congress, and was signed by the president, because he had no choice. His veto would have been overturned. So obviously the files, like I said, that were released were not properly redacted. There's a very good argument to suggest that victims were specifically targeted in these poor redactions because, you have people like Howard Lutnick and the president and Leslie Wexner, whose names are redacted all over the place, and have since either been unredacted or easily proven by journalists to be the person referenced anyhow. But you have victims, just their names and contact information left out there for anybody to see. So you've got dead links, incomplete files, and poorly and unethically incompetently and unethically redacted files that are out. So yeah, I mean, you can only imagine, like, if you really I don't read that shit. I'm not going digging through that cesspool.
There's some friends of mine who are doing that though.
No, thank you. That is for other people.
Is it triggering for you?
not triggering, but it's more like for the same reason I don't watch videos of police shootings anymore. It's
Right.
like
Yes.
I don't
Okay.
need to see. I don't like trauma porn, you know.
Right.
And
That makes
it's
sense.
like I don't need to read the files to know what's in there. I have a pretty good idea of what that enterprise was up to. I just want to know who was involved and how soon can we bury them under the jail. I don't
Right.
really need to know exactly what they did. So I'm good with people who want to
I'm with you on
actually
that. Yeah, I get you.
sort through that shit pile and pick out the pieces of information that we need and aggregate that, and I'll watch their videos and let them describe it with trigger warnings. I don't need to read it for myself or watch videos.
Let me ask you this though. What is the difference between we have the files in the U.S. the government has currently, but then we
Hmm.
have like the files that were released unredacted in was it England and France?
Well, okay,
Who was
so I
it?
have a bunch.
France?
All right, yeah, I have a bunch of different theories. So I don't know exactly who has what and who has released what from what country.
Before we go further,
Mhm.
is those files in the different countries are
Oh,
the same exact files?
that's what I was about to
Is
say.
it the
To
same?
me,
Is
it
it the
seems
same exact? Is it from the same exact investigation?
it seems like a foregone conclusion to me that obviously our intelligence infrastructure has operated quite stupidly for some time, and there has been a lot of leaks and holes and chinks in the armor of our defense and intelligence infrastructure for quite some
Yeah.
time. So it seems perfectly reasonable to me that a myriad of nations have every fucking piece of information they need to bury any person in the Epstein files. That's just, but that's just like my gut, because it's like if British intelligence and French and Russian and Chinese and Iranian and North Korean, all these countries that hate us, it's like, look, I mean, just yes, obviously we have a much bigger defense and intelligence budget than any of these countries or our next 25 allies combined or whatever, but that doesn't mean that people who don't like us or no longer trust us or haven't trusted us for a long time haven't been running ops in our country and gathering information and hacking our mainframes. It's like, of course that shit happens. It's like every espionage book for the last 60 years has explained that that's what's happened.
Is it the same?
It's what made Ian Fleming a fucking household name.
Is it? But is it the same exact investigation? Did they do their own investigation on the side? Or was it from the same pile of that we
Probably.
turned in?
I
Okay,
mean,
I don't know.
I'm sure that there I my get I'm not I'm sure my guess is that obviously the files they have are through their conduits. So in the case of British intelligence, they probably have a lot of what they have through Prince Andrew's communication, and maybe they've hacked some things, and maybe they've gotten some things released to them from the Justice Department through shared information agreements. I don't know.
Right.
I don't work in DC, but it seems perfectly, like I said, it seems perfectly reasonable to me that any well-funded and organized intelligence agency has the Epstein files for all, like, whatever version or translation of it they have it.
I mean, there's much more going on their end where there's more arrests already been done. I mean, Prince Andrew we discussed it 2 weeks ago on the
Well,
show. He's
I
been
think
arrested.
I
A couple of
think
people
that
connected.
also is, especially by November and by, the 2028 primaries. It's my instinct that it's going to be the French and the English who kind of light the fuse on our bomb, so to speak,
And
because
those are allies
they're
too.
they're going like Norway, France, UK. There's a half a dozen countries in Europe that are going forward on prosecuting their Epstein participants. And in
Mm.
the case of France, they're looking to prosecute Elon Musk for election interference.
In
So keep
France,
your yes. They've seized a bunch of shit. They've served a bunch of subpoenas. Keep your, like, I don't know how closely you follow. I know you've been a little more selective about your news intake, but dig into
last
that one.
I will definitely
France
do that.
is investigating Elon Musk for election interference, and so who's to say that the same thing that doesn't trigger an election interference investigation into Elon Musk here?
Ooh, interesting.
So, but that's what I mean is I
But that
think
one,
what
but that one,
happens
that one,
over the next
but that one happened
what happens
under
over the
Trump.
next 12 to 18 months in the UK and France in particular is going to have a significant impact on elections in the United States because of the people who will be exposed as a result of those things.
Unfortunately, that will not happen under the Trump presidency. That'll happen probably in 2028, 2029, 29, and beyond.
It depends. No, I don't know, man. I really, if think of it this way: if the House and Senate significantly like, it's not unreasonable to think you might be able to get a 2/3 majority for impeachment. But there's also, as I understand it, different laws that, especially now that there has been a war attached to this,
Mm-hmm.
there are specific laws of treason where basically you could go after sort of a treason RICO, if you will, and prosecute all of the principal members, what from Trump, Vance, Christine Ohm, Pam Bondi, Stephen Miller, all of the worst. Supposedly, there is a legal remedy for this. And if enough of the House and Senate swings, it's not unreasonable to think that could happen.
I think Pam want to be gone by the midterms.
Well, yeah, and if she gets fired, and there's a
she
new
got subpoenaed yesterday, so
yeah, and that's what I mean. Well, by Congress though.
Yeah.
The worst they can do is hold her in contempt of Congress. But what can happen though is that, like, if again enough of this tidal wave, especially about Epstein, is shifting even within the GOP, you may see enough aisle crossing take place where the next attorney general is somebody who says, fuck this, I'm tearing apart the Epstein files. I'm releasing it all. I'm unredacting the billionaires. I'm protecting the victims. And you motherfuckers count your days.
Right.
It doesn't seem outside the realm of possibility that the next attorney general could be singing a tune to that nature.
You're very optimistic, then. No, that's me. You're the one.
What other choice do we have?
flipped? We flipped.
Just sit back and succumb to our descent into stupid Nazism.
I just don't have any confidence in shit happening, but we'll see. Surprise me. All right. One last thing to get out of here. One last thing. World Baseball Classic underway. You been watching it?
Here and there, yeah. I've seen like some of the exhibition games where like USA just shit on the Giants, and I didn't see who they beat, but as I was waking up this morning, I saw that Ohtani just went beast mode.
Nuts.
Yes. Like, I guess it was overnight because they were playing in Asia or something. But it was also, was it a WBC like opening? It was like group play, quarter, whatever.
I don't know.
WBC is officially underway, right?
I don't know, honestly.
I think it was, because that was why there was a mercy rule, because WBC. Okay, so Japan won their game 13-0, and it ended after 7 innings. Yes, it had to have been, because in the first 2 rounds of the WBC,
it was classic pool play.
Pool play. Okay, so in pool play and quarterfinals, there's a mercy rule of 10 runs. So if you're up by at least 10 runs, the game ends at 7 innings.
Okay.
And that's what Japan, that's what Japan did to their first pool play opponent. And they, as a result, Ohtani went 3 for 4 with a grand slam, I believe.
What we call in the States another day in the office.
For him,
fucking guy's amazing. I mean, it's why the Dodgers will win another title this year, and why we'll have no fucking lockout.
Although I'm probably going to have to continue I am going to continue my boycott this year, because
update. What is it? What happened?
Dave Roberts gave such a fucking bootlicky, gross ass, like, just class traitor fucking statement on a podcast recently, or when he was asked. Yeah, just about the typical just like the U.S. men's hockey team. Going to the White House is an honor, no matter who's sitting in the chair. Blah 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 blah. Give me a fucking break, Dave.
The thing
And
is,
so the Dodgers will be going to tap dance for the orange senile Nazi.
but that doesn't bother me, him doing it, because he's a baseball manager. That's one thing to. I
Nope.
get it.
Nope. 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 Dude, look at what's going on. There is no compromise on this anymore. There really isn't. There's no giving a pass to fascism or holding your nose and looking the other way. No.
By the way,
People are being murdered in the streets. People are starving. People are being thrown out of their homes. There's no jobs. There's a war. And the person occupying the office is both evil and incompetent. No. There's
by the way,
we can agree to disagree. No, the fuck we can't. No, the
by the
fuck we
way,
can't.
Otani's is paying
And
leadoff.
also, the Guggenheim Group still profits off of Geo Group, which is an ICE contractor who maintains concentration camps. By the way, speaking of, and part of the reason I'm super hot about immigration is because we're talking about elections and affordability and shit like that. Some of the less covered stories that you see by these left-wing creators are that, for example, 1,200 incarcerated immigrants at Alligator Alcatraz have disappeared altogether from
Oh,
record.
really?
Yes.
Jesus.
They don't know if they've been deported, where they've been sent. Also, ICE facilities are being contracted all over the country in terrifying numbers to house up to like 10 and 15,000 people per facility, and they're dotted all over the country near just outside of population centers.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that they have been ordering, medical waste grade incinerators.
Explain that, what that means exactly. Incinerators.
Cremation ovens.
Jesus Christ.
Cremation ovens.
I didn't want to think about something like that extreme.
Yes. Jesus. It's happening in real time right the fuck now. The Dodgers owner is making money off of these contracts being signed. So as of now, until the Guggenheim Group divests from this shit and people stop licking Trump's boot, it's fuck the Dodgers and fuck the Lakers.
Oh my God.
Fuck
That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Yeah. No, and that's the shit they're not telling you on MS Now. They just tell you about, they got some correspond. Okay, by the way, MS Now's coverage of the Iran war is so weird. Have you watched any TV?
No, I don't watch it. I don't watch any mainstream news at all.
The way that they do the mental gymnastics of like making Trump the bad guy and blaming him, but somehow also making a victim out of Israel is the wildest thing for me.
Well, you know why? They're playing both sides of the fence. They don't want to piss off Trump.
It is the weird, but it is just, it's like you and I obviously know how fucking stupid and disingenuous it is.
Right.
It's wild to watch people like twist their words inside out to somehow
of course,
throw barbs at Trump and not at Israel.
No, and
you have
and they're doing that
all
because
the correspondents on the ground are in Tel Aviv, of course, and it's like, oh, they're this happened to this thing, and it's like, you're in the country that fired the first shot, right?
They're doing it because
did you think one country can bomb another country and that the country that got bombed is going to do nothing in response?
Right. They're doing it because number one, ratings, because they want to pull back some new viewers. If it means
Israeli government influence in American media.
Number two, they're also scared of Trump. They don't piss them off.
There is even NBC News, for example, there is a line that they don't want to draw the ire of the FCC and Trump and all that. I mean, it's why Joy Reid and Mehdi Hassan and others have been fired.
Right. But who do you think wins the Classic?
Okay,
Who?
maybe they left. Maybe they got shown the fucking door because they
Of
wouldn't
course
shut
they did.
up.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh yeah, no doubt about that. Without question. I mean,
Regardless of how the form was filled out, explaining their departure, they got shown the door because they wouldn't shut up about Israel.
exactly. So, who do you think wins the Classic? And why is it not Japan again? I think it's
Well,
Japan.
for one, I don't. Okay, the one big difference for me is like, okay, Japan scares me always because sort of like they're bigger than the sum of their parts, and every
Mm-hmm.
time we go, oh, Japan only has four, but they only have Sasaki, Yamamoto, and Otani, whereas the US and Dominican Republic have a whole team of MLB All-Stars. Well,
Mm-hmm.
we say that Japan ends up in either at least the final four or wins the whole thing, and then three of the guys we've never heard of on that squad are playing in the MLB and are All-Stars or playing in the World Series within 3 to 5 years of that said classic.
Yeah.
So Japan is in, just their baseball culture from like I swear to God, it's almost like baseball is the new Bushido. It's almost like baseball replaced that samurai ambition of Japanese culture. And I don't mean to make like silly reductive jokes, but just when you see the discipline, the dedication, the attention to detail in every element of the game, every phase of the game. It's why, for example, you're going to see more people who can pitch and hit come out of Japan because
Yeah.
they see it's a cultural
Fundamentals.
pursuit of perfection and attention to detail in every single
Fundamentals
thing
are
you
on
do,
par.
from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to sleep, and even the
Yep.
way you sleep is a practice. It's just
Fundamentals.
it's a dedication to discipline that just permeates an entire culture of people that most outsiders don't fully understand.
Nope.
So
Not at
I think
all.
because of that, you have all of these people who are incredibly unified. They've all been playing together since they were 13.
Mm-hmm.
At least the ones that are within close age proximity to each other.
Right.
But they've all been playing for the same teams in the same tournaments with or against each other since they were children.
There you
And
go.
they are all practiced in every phase. So yeah, I think Japan probably repeats,
They
but
were plus
the US
325 before it
and the
started.
Dominican Republic look nasty, and particularly just like the pitching rotation for the US led by Skeens and Scooble. They're fucking deep.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the lineup was, it was Bobby Witt and Bryce Harper, Mattles. I'm trying to think. Probably, I would bet Mookie's
That alone
probably
tells
on
you
the team.
that alone should give you US an edge. But Otani,
Yeah,
man, my God. Oof.
God, he's
That
just
motherfucker is
so.
so good.
It really isn't a stretch to say that all the historical footage you've watched, all the baseball we've seen our entire lives, there's really never been a person who plays baseball as well as Shohei
Oh,
Ohtani.
a stretch. I think we're already there.
Yeah, like now, two-time champ, done it on like performed on the mound at the plate. The only thing left is to go out and just play right field for fun and win a Gold Glove and lead the league in outfield assists because he could probably do it.
Yeah, well, he's Otani. He can do it all he wants. It's his
Yeah,
world. It's his
but
world.
that
We're just living in it, buddy.
I mean, he really is the greatest base because I thought Mike Trout was probably the most physically gifted baseball
Yes.
player I'd ever seen. Like it was
We're
right up
past
there
that.
with him, and it was like Trout and Bonds to me were
Yeah,
like the two most physically gifted baseball players I've ever seen in my life.
that's Otani.
And like what Bonds could do at the plate, like especially when you watch him now in podcasts or in
Mhm.
like documentaries that the local San Francisco stations do and shit like that.
Mhm.
When you hear him break down at bats and the way he would maneuver pitchers, not just like across one at bat, but across a game and then across like meetings in the same way that like Greg
Yeah,
Maddux would trick you into looking for a pitch in a regular season meeting that didn't mean anything because he knew he was going to see you in October, and he wanted to trick you into looking 3-1 slider and then burn you with a fastball up and in. Like
Yep.
Bonds was the same way.
Barry Bonds my favorite player, and I have to concede.
Yeah,
I think Ohtani's
like
past
there's
him.
that one famous one between him and Gagne that was like a 12 pitch at bat or something, and then I believe Bonds took him to the Cove.
Anyway,
but yeah, Shohei Ohtani is far and away the greatest
Yes.
baseball player I've ever seen in my life.
I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there. All right, Mark, anything you want to plug if we got here?
All the usual things, of course. Go visit hacglobal.org and contribute, join. Stay tapped in with everything we're doing over there, and vote for people who don't support MAGA, who don't support Israel, and who do support poor people and taxing billionaires, because that's the only thing that is going to keep us from Skynet.
There you go. Hey, Mark, good job, man. 2 pods in 2 weeks, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. That it's always concerning though. Almost, it's like a recession indicator. If we're doing pods,
it means that there's a lot of bad shit going on.
Yeah.
We got to address it.
I think the last time we were doing bang bang pods was election. So
yep, it's always that way. Well, that's different because we need to stay on top of everything that's going on. So, but good job as always, brother.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure.